Greetings to you, and thank you so much for your beautiful welcome to country. Every time it's the same as the Honourable Kimberley's. Every time I hear a welcome to country, I always take a piece of it with me as part of my cultural learning and development. And I've been fortunate enough for the last 2 years to travel with part of your mob on the Balladong Trail and touch, feel, smell and learn the history of your land. And I feel so honoured every time I do that. Actually, the first time I did it, they were a little bit cheeky and said, oh, well, you and your Māori mob get up here and entertain us while we eat. So I don't know if that's a normal induction for Kiwis merging, but we did it and they ate while we sang around the fire, and that's what we have to do every time now. So thank you so much, and to acknowledge the people of this land, the Noongar people, and what they stand for, and the work that you do, Len, in building the next generation of emerging leaders is very important. It's critical to the future of the Noongar people and of the Aboriginal people across the state. So thank you, he mihi nui kia koe, kia ora. And to all the honourable people sitting at the table to my left, I'm not going to rename them because they've been named 3 times, but the Governor is a person you never want to follow after he speaks. He always speaks with such presence and such knowledge, and it's always a privilege. I see him at many events, and he's not only well respected but very entertaining to listen to when he does speak. To all the other distinguished guests that are here today to be part of this opening, I acknowledge all of you there. But more so to all the distinguished people that have arrived here to be part of this conference, each and every one of you across the Men's Shed movement, who Lotterywest are getting a lot of applause here today, but actually what you do in terms of our brand and being place-based and doing the work that you do in your communities is a really solid partnership, and that's why we're here. We're here to support you to do the amazing work you do in the community. So I want to give an applause to all of you who have travelled here today, and thank you on behalf of Lotterywest for the amazing work that you do in your communities. I haven't followed anything on my speech, so let me check these notes out. So Lotterywest have been a partner of the Men's Shed since 2010 when we started funding and supporting activities, buildings and a lot of tools and machinery. And since I've been at Lotterywest since 2012, and I've seen the movement change quite significantly over that time. I've seen it move from being more than just a place of men gathering to really being a place of men sharing, looking after each other, taking note of their well-being, and I'm not going to lie, it's probably good for the wife's well-being as well. But it's amazing to see, and I've visited quite a few across the state, and I do see the important role that you play, again, not only for the men who are part of your membership today, but for the young people that are coming through in the future, and the paving that you are doing for them to be able to also have exactly what it says here, place of acceptance, mateship, a place to come together and be part of something within their community. So it is such a movement. I didn't realise how far and wide it was, but 200 plus sheds in WA is an amazing target to have, amazing for all of you who do the work, and a lot of you do it voluntarily, so I acknowledge that. And Ms McGurk, she's always so supportive of the amount of voluntary work that goes into the communities. You're place-based, you're present, and you're doing amazing work throughout your communities. So the conference theme being Inclusive Thriving Sheds, and I will acknowledge my old colleague James Wild, who's the CEO of the Men's Shed. I think he stole those words from our grant-making framework, which is about building inclusive, thriving communities. So it's very appropriate that you have that as your theme, and that you are moving more towards creative and innovative ways of working. So, you know, some of you might not have had an iPad back in 2010, but I'm sure most of you are now quite digitally savvy in your mentorship, which is great to see. And we're also trying to up our game on how we can be more approachable in terms of supporting your mentorship. So I know historically application forms and the way that the mentorships worked individually, you know, we're trying to move more towards being strategic, minimising the amount of work you need to do in terms of administration and simplifying how we can support you to do your work and be more effective in doing it. So I'm going to finish, I still haven't looked at my notes, I'm going to finish with, you know, I'm a mother of 5 sons and 2 grandsons, and so for me the mentorship movement is something that I know you are building for my children and their children. I'm not a Australian, I'm a visitor to this land, but I still want my children to be part of such an amazing place of being in a community. So thank you for all the work that you do. Thank you for being a partner of Lotterywest and really holding our brand strong out there in the community. And I'll finish with saying that our CEO retired recently, and in her parting, my parting speech to her, I said to her she'll struggle to not remember Lotterywest because of all the mentorships that we have across the state. And in her retiring first trip travel, she sent me a couple of photos of the mentorships that she's like, oh my gosh, I can't get away from Lotterywest. So thank you for holding our flag out there and enjoy your conference.